1075 The Game Podcasting is sponsored by Modern Exterminating, a family-oriented company. Professional, honest, and dependable pest control solutions. We're your one-stop shop for all pests.
We've come full circle.
Yes, we have.
It was Saturday, July the 5th, that I started 9 years ago in the morning. Do I look better? You've seen me when you see Quinn.
You seem a little more well-rested, a little more energized than maybe at 6 a.m.
Pro Football Focus. I'm always fascinated by this stuff. Tyler, Preston would get into it. I got to admit, maybe a little bit too numbery, a little bit too analytical, a little bit too geeky, but I always am intrigued by it. And I say that because we have Pro Football Focus's top 50 players for the 2025 season that has now been released.
Yep.
Dylan Stewart checks in at number 9. Let's talk about that for a second and get your thoughts on Dylan Stewart being at number 9.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there in between a couple of other really good edge defenders, Colin Simmons at Texas and T.J. Parker at Clemson. So he's in good company. I think certainly when you look at what he did, especially as a true freshman, it really jumps off the page at you. I think we're going to learn just how dominant he can be this year, considering the fact that even more attention is going to be paid to him because you don't have the Bronco Nagurski Award winner on the other side of the other side of the line there, commanding some of that attention. So he's going to have an opportunity to really prove his worth this upcoming year. But yeah, and again, when you have a list of the top 50 best players in college football, considering the fact we're talking about 130 plus teams, it's really hard, and you're really kind of splitting hairs when you come to some of these guys in the top 10. But just being considered to be in the top 10 is quite an accomplishment and well deserved by Dylan Stewart for sure.
Georgia has a bunch of rivalries.
Yes,
they got, and that's why I've always enjoyed the game. I look forward to it being back in 2026.
Yep.
I've had a lot of great memories going to Georgia games there and at Williams-Rice Stadium. But I don't think South Carolina considers that a rivalry. And quite frankly, and I've said this before, if there was another rival for South Carolina, I'm not sure it's not Kentucky. Because Tennessee's the same way. I would say Tennessee, but because the games have been so close the majority of the time. But I would actually lean Tennessee, but Tennessee doesn't care about South Carolina either. They're looking at Alabama. They're looking at Georgia. They're looking at,
I think South Carolina and Kentucky both look at each other on an even plane. Like, both sides say, hey, we should be beating those guys. Why aren't we? When Kentucky's lost to Carolina the past couple of years, and it's always fun to watch the KSR boys' reaction to it. They're losing their minds. Like, how could we lose to South Carolina? This is unbecoming in this program. And if, South Carolina lost to Kentucky this year in Williams-Rice Stadium, it would be the same thing. Like, how could you lose to this Kentucky team? So I think it's a rivalry built off kind of being on an even playing field with each other for the majority of your time, in the SEC so far. Because, outside of that, you don't have really any built-in rivals within the conference, which, again, if we go to this 9-game model and you have the rotating thing with, 1 permanent and 8 rotating opponents, who's South Carolina's permanent? I don't know.